Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ila Carmela is my name. I'm a moderator from group 4. In this situation, I will show you about morphological the word of language. And the first speaker is Nurul Khalifa and the second speaker is Monica. Morphemes, the minimal units of meaning. The linguistic term for the most elemental unit from grammatical form is morpheme. The word is derived from the Greek word morphe, meaning from. If Godwin had taken a linguistic course, he would have said more correctly into morphemes impossible the study of internal structure of words and of the rules by which words are formed is morphology. This word itself consists on two morphemes, morphology. The morphology means breadth of knowledge, so the meaning of morphology is the breadth of knowledge concerning words forms. The first, the discrepancy of morphemes. The meaning of a morpheme must be constant. The adjective morpheme here means one who does. In words like singer, painter, lover, and worker. But the same sound represents the comparative morphemes meaning more in Niker, Prader, and Taylor. The identical form represents two morphemes because another word and not replaced and spared morpheme at all. As in finger, conversely, the two morphemes er and stare have the same meaning but different forms. The second, bond and free morphemes. Our morphological knowledge has two components: knowledge if individual morphemes and knowledge of the rules that combine them. One of the things we know about particular morphemes is whether they can stand alone or whether they must be attached to a base morpheme. Some morphemes like boy, desire, gentle, and man may consist words by themselves. These are free morphemes. Other morphemes like is, needs, lay, pre, trans, and earn are never words by themselves but are always parts of word. These affixes are bond morphemes and they may attach at the beginning, the end, in the middle of both, at the beginning and end of a word. A. Prefix and suffix. We know whether an affix prefix or follows other morphemes. For example, that an, premeditated, prejudged, and bipolar, bisexual are prefixes. Some morphemes are only a suffix following other morphemes. English examples of suffix morphemes are in, sleeping, eating, running, climbing. Singer, performer, reader. Its types: plaints, novelist, linguist, and manly, sickly, friendly, to mention only a few. B. Some linguists also have infix morphemes that are inserted into other morphemes. In this language, the infix ium is inserted after the first consonant of the noun or adjective.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nurul Khalifah from TBI 3C. I want to continue from the first speakers. Okay, 3. Circumfix. Some languages have circumfix morphemes that are attached to a base morpheme both initially and finally, sometimes called discontinuous morphemes. Number 4. Roots and stem. Morphologically complex word consists of a morpheme, root, and one or more affixes. Some examples of English roots are point in pointer, read in reread, self in conself, and ling in linguist. A root may or may not stand alone as a word. Point and read do, self, and ling don't. In language that have circumfix, the root is the form around which the circumfix attach. In fixing language, the root is the form into which the infix is inserted. Point A of number 4. Bound roots. Bound roots do not occur in isolation and they occur meaning only in combination with other morphemes. For example, words of Latin origin such as receive, conceive, perceive, and deceive share a common root, self, and the words remit, permit, commit, submit, transmit, and admit share the root mit. Number 5. Rules of word formation. We said earlier that knowledge of morphology includes knowledge of individual morphemes, their pronunciation, and their meaning, and knowledge of the rules for combining morphemes into complex words. The mock turtle added ify to the adjective ugly and formed a verb. Many verbs in English have been formed in this way: modify, amplify, simplify, falsify, and forms nouns. 2. Objectify, glorify, personify. Notice that the mock turtle went even further. He added the suffix cation to uglify and formed a noun, uglification, as in glorification, simplification, falsification, and purification. Number 6. Derivational morphology. Bound morphemes like efy, cation, and arian are called derivational morphemes. When they are added to a base, a new word with a new meaning is derived. The form that results from the addition of a derivational morphemes is called a derived word. Number 6. Inflectional morphology. Function words like to, it, and be are free morphemes. Many languages, including English, also have bound morphemes that have a strictly grammatical function. They mark properties such as tense, number, person, and so forth. Such bound morphemes are called inflectional morphemes. Unlike derivational morphemes, they never charge the grammatical category of the stems to which they are attached. Inflectional morphemes reference relationship between different parts of a sentence, for example, as expresses the relationship between the verb and the third person singular subject ed expresses the relationship between the time the utterance is spoken e.g. now and the time of the event past. Number 8. The hierarchical structure of words.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Monica Nuraini. I'm from TBI 3C. A. Exception and suppletion. These exceptional forms must be stored in the lexion. There are therefore two mechanisms for forming complex words. Regular forms, such as dance and books, are formed by applying morphological rules to the base morpheme, which is stored in the lexion. Irregular, also called superlative, form must be retrieved directly from the lexion. Lexical gaps. Other gaps result when possible combination of morphemes never come into use. Speakers can distinguish between impossible words such as unsystem and needlessity and possible but non-existing words such as magnificenter or disobvious, example distrustful. The ability to make this distinction is further evidence that the morphological component of our mental grammar consists of not just a lexicon, a list of existing words, but also of rules that enable us to create and understand new words, and to recognize possible and impossible words. Okay, I will continue to explain the material. 9. The rule productivity. The rule that adds an er to verbs in English to produce a noun meaning one who does is a nearly productive morphological rule, giving us examiner, exam taker, analyzer, lover, hunter, and even girl player wither, as the cartoon illustrates, but fails full productivity owing to words like chair, which is not one who cheers. The other er suffix, the one that means more as in greedier, also fails to be entirely productive as Alice Cruiser points out. The more syllables a word has, the less likely er will work, and we will need the word more, as in more beautiful but no beautifuler, compared with the well-formed, nicer, or prettier. 10. Other morphological processes. The various kinds of affixation that we have discussed are by far the most common morphological processes among the world's languages. A. Back formation. A new word may enter the language because of an incorrect morphological analysis. For example, pedal was derived from peddler on the mistake assumption that the er was the adjunctive suffix. Such words are called back formation. Some word creation comes from deliberately miscast back formation. B. Compounds. In English, the rightmost word in a compound is the head of the compound. The head is the part of a word or phrase that determines its broad meaning, a grammatical category. Compounds whose rightmost member is a preposition are not themselves preposition. A meet-up is a kind of meeting, not a direction. Meltdown and knockout are nouns, verbs, and adjectives. See meaning of compounds. The head of compound carries its core or basic meaning, but the meaning of compound is not always simply the sum of the meaning of its part. Other compounds reveal other meaning relation between the parts, which are not entirely consistent because many compounds are idiomatic. The pronunciation of English compounds differs from the way we pronounce the sequence of two words that are not compound. In actual compound, the first word is usually stressed, pronounced somewhat louder and higher in pitch, and in a non-compound phrase, the second word is stressed. The universality of compounding. Other languages have rules for conjoining words to form compounds. Compounding is a common and frequent process for enlarging the vocabulary of all languages. Malapropism. A malapropism is the confusion as a word to misinterpretation of its morphemes, usually with a humorous effect. Such mistakes reveal much of the lexical knowledge of the speaker.